Ready to go? It's going to take some getting used to this microphone today, so just bear with me. But anyway, welcome to Graduation 2021. It is a true blessing to be here today at the Diamond. Many thanks to the Squirrels and to the Diamond staff for everything they've done today to make this possible. Thank goodness it did not rain too hard this morning. But we're just glad to be here face to face to celebrate the 27 high school graduates that sent in their paperwork to us. Can everybody hear me okay? Would you tell me if you couldn't? Yes, okay. On behalf of the Ask Childhood Cancer Foundation and the staff at Children's Hospital of Richmond, we want to thank you, graduates and parents, for letting us be a part of this special occasion and this special day. This year marks my 25th celebration, doing this celebration for our high school seniors that are graduating and have been served in our hematology oncology clinic at VCU. Over the years, each one has been very special. Last year, even with COVID, and we had to do a virtual celebration, it was different. However, each year is very special. And today is very special as I look across and see all of your smiling faces. It brings back many memories. I remember when I started with many of you in kindergarten, or I went with your mother to a school meeting in 3rd or 4th grade, and just following you over the years. We've made memories. With the staff here, I think back to all of us being together, not of the diagnosis and the treatment, but more of us being together at the sickle cell transition retreats, playing spoons till way in the morning. Miss Jennifer's up here, who is very competitive and will never let you win. And then being together at after-school programs, our summer camps, and just all the social events that Ask has provided for us over the years. At this time, I'd like to call one of our newest staff members forward, and that's Rich Catlett. He is our Ask chaplain. And he has been such a tremendous support to our patients, our families, and staff, particularly this past year during COVID. He has really taken staff and put us under his wings. So, Rich.
Good morning. Thanks for being here. I don't think I've had the pleasure to meet a lot of you because I've only been here for a little less than 2 years. But that's a good thing, right? You guys are moved on, and I have big shoes to fill behind Tom David, or maybe big bow ties to fill. But either way, he was a great guy, and I appreciate the fact that I can follow in his footsteps. Today, we're going to think about, for a second, inviting the divine into what we're doing here. So if you would, pause with me for a second, and we'll have a prayer. God above, I thank you for this day. I thank you even for the clouds that bring rain to nourish our earth. These families understand what it means to have the right ingredient to nourish their bodies and souls when they need it most. God, we thank you for being a part of each person's story and journey, and for the healing and resiliency that has come through this process. Today, we celebrate accomplishment. We celebrate continuing to work hard. We celebrate overcoming what life can throw at us. May these young people, and even these not so young people, remember that they can overcome anything that comes their way with resiliency and strength and guidance from you and the beautiful people that you put in our lives. May you fill us this day with your joy as we celebrate and uplift these young people, and may you bring blessings on them. Thank you for this opportunity, and may you fill us with your spirit of love as we go forth into this world. Amen.
Thank you, Rich. Now, we could not have a celebration without welcoming our chief and our director of the Pediatric Hematology Oncology Division at VCU, Dr. Joseph Laver. Dr. Laver was with us in 2000 to 2008. He then left us and went to St. Jude's and all across the country, I think. And he came back to us in 2019. He is an excellent doctor who cares deeply for his patients and his families. And he is a strong leader of his team. We could not do our work without him. Dr. Laver.
Thank you, Alma. You were here when I was in 2000, and you are here in 2021, and we hope to be with the next chief as well. So it is a great pleasure for me to be here with you on the graduation. And in many ways, I feel privileged that I speak at this event. Just to show you that I did my homework like a good student, the graduates today, is that Alma was telling me that there are 27 graduates with hematological and childhood malignancies and cancers, the same. And you're coming from 11 different schools in Virginia. And what you went through is you went through transfusions. And I won't say your parents went through this with you. Through transfusion, surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, modalities that are difficult. And you persevered. You showed the resilience and will to achieve the academic goals and to graduate, which, if you hear today somebody complaining about something, this is nothing for you. You conquered much more difficult things, and you are going to conquer much more. We did a study here when I was in the 2000s and looked at our survivors of cancer at the time, and they all did great. And they all in the study answered that because of the treatment and the camaraderie and families and their parents, they turned into better people and they believe they're up to better things. And this study is cited in many journals, showing how important it is to keep the positive attitude and to go and conquer the world. So through all this, you guys graduate. The other thing that over 90% of you are going to pursue some education and training, be this vocational education and training, like culinary, electronics, a variety of things that I looked at the list and I can't remember everything, but sounds very cool. And quite a few of you are going to pursue academic degrees. And again, nursing, engineering, physics, which I struggled with this in medical school. So altogether, it's a group that I am 100% sure is going to succeed and will be hearing about you in the future, and we are very proud of you. But we as the medical team feel very rewarded to see you graduated today, and we are very proud of you, but it takes a village to treat each of you. So I'm here as a physician, but we have nurse practitioners, physician assistants, nursing, social worker, chaplain that helps us in tough times and just keeps our spirits up. And we have child life, and of course we cannot finish this without saying thank you to ASK, all the volunteers and the community support that we get. So I am very proud of people who, I had one child that, one teenager that through the transplant was preparing himself to college. And this is very impressive because it's difficult to concentrate on studies when you're in pain or when you get a transfusion or the nurse comes in your room 100 times an hour. So you did it, and we are very proud of you. So I'm going to finish by saying, like Vulcan in Star Trek, live long and prosper.
Thank you, Dr. Labor. Now I want to introduce one of my favorites at the hospital. She's a real character. She's the best physician's assistant that you could ever have. And she likes to play a lot, too. So that's why we love her so much. Miss Jennifer Newland.
Thank you, Alma. Well, good morning. I am delighted to be here today on behalf of our sickle cell team, from Dr. India Sisler, Dr. Elamine, Alicia, our social worker, Jill, our nurse navigator, and the rest of the doctors, nurses, and staff in PT Monk. We are really thrilled to see each of you here today and excited to celebrate in this milestone. For those of you who may not be so familiar with sickle cell disease, it is an inherited red blood cell disorder that patients are born with. In sickle cell disease, the red blood cells are shaped like a sickle or a crescent moon, and that affects the blood flow in the blood vessels. So the cells get stuck, and when the blood flow is not moving, it can cause patients to have terrible pain, and it can cause damage to their internal organs. We start seeing our patients when they're 2 months of age, and we continue to see them throughout their childhood years for follow-up visits, medication management, sick visits to address their complications. As you may imagine, we get to know our patients pretty well during this time. We share in the ups and downs, and we share in the unpredictable nature of this chronic illness. But I have to say, one of my greatest joys is to watch each of you grow up, from babies to teenagers, even though teenagers scare me a little, but to teenagers, and then now into mature adults. It is crazy to believe that we've watched you go from elementary school to the middle school and now high school. I can often remember the first visits I had with my patients, so it's awesome to see you guys grow. We love to hear about your accomplishments in school, in sports, to see pictures of your families, your siblings, pictures from prom and homecoming, and to hear your plans for college and vocational training. It is a real joy for us to get updates and to get surprise visits from you after you graduate and come back and see us in clinic. So we saw one of our patients came last week and took pictures, and it was almost crying because he said, I got to send this to my mom. So come back, see us, please. In our clinic, upon graduation, our high school patients also graduate from our clinic. They go from the pediatric clinic to our adult sickle cell clinic. And many of the members of our adult sickle cell team are here today to help celebrate each of you. So if you guys will just stand so they know who you are. So please look for these folks at lunchtime, and we'll try to introduce you to them. Dr. Smith, Justin, who's a clinic nurse, social worker, the navigators that help navigate the adult world with you, and the IT specialist, Ben, he's behind the scenes working things. So the sickle cell team, the adult sickle cell team, is ready to take you on. They are ready, and we are trying to make sure that this is a smooth transition because we know it is different going from the pediatric world with all the bright colors and candies and snacks and games to the adult world. But on behalf of our pediatric team and our adult team, we want to congratulate each of you on your graduation. And please do come back and see us.
Thank you, Jennifer. It is now with pleasure that I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker, Rachel Elliott. While I could talk for hours about Rachel and her journey, she has a very, very moving story, and she's taken that and she's done something great with it. She's going to tell you a formula today, and she's going to add components to that formula that I think will really lead to happiness. So Rachel, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alma. Good morning, everyone. It is an honor to stand here to celebrate this moment in your life. High school graduation is an incredibly significant step. You have accomplished one of life's major milestones. I know you have worked hard with so much determination to get here today. Congratulations, class of 2021. Most senior high school students only experience one graduation. The typical one filled with faculty, teachers, and their fellow students from the learning institution they attended. It represents all the academic excellence that one has been working towards over the past 4 years, encompassing the late nights spent studying for the tricky math test, the hours in classrooms and hallways, and now on Zoom, and the memories of school pride and cheer. For better or for worse, I believe for better, we are here today. And this graduation ceremony is a little different. Take a moment and look around. All of you graduates and I have something else in common. Not only have you achieved the honor of high school graduates, but you have done so against great odds. Because of this, you have the privilege to attend this graduation celebration with a different group of peers. This ceremony represents a community of courageous fighters. I know you and all your family and supporters understand the true magnitude of this event. I hope you are feeling so much joy and pride. I am Rachel Elliott, and I've been a patient here at Children's Hospital at VCU since age 11. In 2008, I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and I've experienced all the things, including 2 cancer relapses, multiple long stays at the PICU on the 7th floor of Maine Hospital, and a couple of bald heads. I've missed the school play, the soccer game, the friend's birthday party. I remember being freezing cold, watching the pump, waiting for that last drop of chemo. I remember beating Katie and Uno more times than she'd like to admit. I have frequented the snack drawer and the popsicle freezer at the clinic. I admittedly, at times, have conveniently used a cancer perk or two to my advantage, like when I had the chance to meet John Mayer at the Today Show and getting my favorite meal delivered to the hospital for free. I understand how this group of incredible medical professionals aren't just their title of doctor, nurses, social workers, and care partners. They are family and friends and supporters that will be part of your journey forever. We, this group, are in a special club that understands how precious life is and what a gift it is to reach this major milestone. Again, congratulations, courageous class of 2021. Recently, I've been on a journey of reflecting about how being diagnosed with cancer at a young age made me a stronger person today, a more resilient human. Through this, I've discovered 3 components that I believe helped me during my medical journey, and I refer to as my resiliency formula. My guess is that you all actually may be aware of all of these components and that you have used them in your past, but I'd like to share them with you today. For you, this will likely be merely a reminder to continue to commit to these practices as you navigate adverse situations in life. The first components are acceptance and gratitude. When a challenge presents itself in life, in order to be able to work through it, You must truly understand and accept it for what it is. This means feeling all the painful emotions that come along with that realization. This step is key. Remember to feel first. From there, you can create a path forward, an alternative plan. And if you're willing to look for it, you may even find something to be grateful for along that new path. For instance, your support system, or something new you learned about yourself, or the opportunity to grow with the challenge. Next, remember to focus on what you can control, your attitude, your outlook, and your mindset. Find joy in the simple pleasures of life, even when you're going through hardship and uncertainty. Get outside, enjoy the sunshine or the rain. Play with your pet. Eat a delicious ice cream cone. Smile or wave at a stranger. I remember this being exceptionally challenging to do while I was going through treatment. For me, simply joking with the doctors and nurses about how lucky they were to spend the day with me was one of my go-tos to put a smile on their face and mine. Being optimistic even in hard times helped to shift my perspective. It allowed me to be a bit happier in the moment, which fueled the fiery spirit inside of me to get better. You have the choice to be positive in any moment. That's step 2. And lastly, compassion. The struggles you have experienced thus far allows you the ability to feel for others who are also struggling. It softens your heart, lessens your burden, and strengthens your empathies for others. You know more than most that we are all suffering, and in life, adversity is guaranteed. Take that lesson as a gift and share compassion for others. I hope these components resonate with you and speak to all that you have persevered through as young adults. You are inherently resilient, and mankind needs your kindness and compassion. As you continue on through life, the next steps may feel fuzzy or uncertain, and more adversity will come your way. But remember what you have already accomplished. You have achieved great heights, and you are totally equipped with all the necessary tools to address anything with great confidence. You have done it. Now, as you enter into this new phase of life as high school graduates, you have the choice. You can choose to focus on all the things your illness may have taken from you, or take into account what it has given you. Both aspects may be true and valid, but what will serve you more? The choice is yours. We are a unique and bonded community, understanding early in life that we are not our diagnosis, our mistakes, our disabilities, or our challenges. We are all just experiencing life as it unfolds and becoming more resilient along the way. Go forth and take your place. Build your future. I know you will achieve your dreams and make a difference in this world. We are all better because of you, the courageous class of 2021.
Thank you. Rachel, here's a little. Rachel, we thank you for that moving testimony of where you started and where you are today. And I know that you are going to do wonderful things, coaching and advocating for others. So best of luck to you as you start this new venture. And now it is time to meet our graduates. And we have a little special presentation first, and then we will recognize each graduate. seeing all the graduates on screen. Starting out when you were just little people and now looking at where you are today. Incredible. Thank you for getting the pictures to us. So today, as I introduce each graduate, I'd like for you to stand. I see a lot of caps out there. And I have your essays that I'm going to read a few words that you have shared with us. Some of you are rather in-depth on your essays, and I have pages to read. And I've spent this week every night going over the essays so that I would know each of you and what you wanted to share. Now, some of you, and I call it the men with few words, they give me a sentence or two. So for that, I get to make up stories. Our first graduate that I'd like to acknowledge is from Charlotte County, and that is Landon Chase Perkins. Chase is a graduate from Randolph Henry High School. He has lots of hobbies. And as I read his essay, something crossed my mind. Life is not fair. Chase, when he was a junior in high school, he loved playing football, baseball, basketball. Well, he could no longer play after the diagnosis. He was manager of the high school farm. He could no longer do that. He said his days were spent working with his homebound teacher that could visit his home and work side by side with him to keep him caught up. It then became his senior year. He was ready to return to school and COVID hit. So he got a double whammy. But let me tell you, this young man, he knows what it's like to take lemons and make lemonade. He is going to Southside Community College in the fall to study welding and agribusiness. I had to look that up, Chase. But anyway, Chase, he talked about in his essay about, his 11th grade year and what he went through. But he ended it with these words. I wanted to give advice for all the young people to stay strong and keep thinking positive. I suggest to find a hobby to help pass the time. And we do know Chase has lots of hobbies. Also remember your faith and know that you are not alone. The Lord is always with you. Also be thankful that you have family that love and support you and are always there for you. Be thankful for the good days, the days you come home from the hospital or you don't feel sick anymore. So best of luck to you, Chase, as you go forward. We have 4 graduates this year from Chesterfield County. The first one I would like to acknowledge is Jermel Brooks Jones. Hi, Jermel. Jermel was talking about his future, and he said, I do not want to go through life feeling and using my disease as a crutch. Although this is a disease that I will have for the rest of my life, there is a lot of things I wish to accomplish and be great. And I think that, Jermel, you want to go into barbering, is that correct? His advice is to never give up. Try to find something positive to think about to replace what you are going through and lean on your family and friends. Best of luck to you, Jermel. Our next graduate from Chesterfield is Taylor St. Pierre. Is Taylor with us today? Well, I'm going to share Taylor's advice. She was diagnosed at the age of 4, with leukemia. And she said, I knew at age 4 that I wanted to go to college. So she worked hard, maintained a 4.0 GPA throughout her high school career. My advice would be to surround yourself with people who support you. During treatment, there are going to be really bad days. In my opinion, the best way to get through this is to find people who are able to remain positive even when things are at the worst. And Taylor will be going to James Madison University in the fall, majoring in media arts and design with a concentration in journalism. You know, this echo reminds me that even though I'm getting up in years, this little accent of mine from Southwest Virginia just does not go away. Wow. I keep hoping. Our next graduate from Chesterfield is from Meadowbrook High School, and Asani Belazaire. Is Asani? Hi, Asani. How are you? Asani was diagnosed at age 13. She began chemotherapy at 14 and had numerous setbacks along the way. She talks about her school career. My sophomore year, I wound up getting pulled out of school for 5 months. At that time, I started doing homeschool, but it was not easy due to the fact that teachers were not sending me my work. I was unable to hand in the assignments because I was never given them. When I finally came back, they rearranged my schedule, and I was doing online and in-person school both. During my junior year, my cancer came back, so I started a new treatment. She talks about how difficult it has been to stay focused and keep up with the schoolworks with so many interruptions. At the same time, she talks about how education has always been very important to her. In conclusion, I would encourage anyone with a new diagnosis to just stay positive. Keep your good friends close. Last thing is just don't give up. Everyone has bad moments. Don't let this disease define you. And she will be studying computer science in the fall. Best of luck to you. And then our next graduate is from Meadowbrook High School as well, Jocelyn Brown. Is Jocelyn with us today? As I read Jocelyn's essay, I was amazed because she lived in one school district, but then she had to travel to another school to get the classes that she wanted. So she was on the bus, she said, a lot of times for 4 hours a day, 2 hours getting to school and 2 hours getting home. But it worked for her. She stayed positive, she did her work, and she is going on scholarship to Mary Baldwin University in the fall. Our next young lady and graduate is from Cumberland County, Taraya Scott. As I read Taraya's essay and what she wants to do following graduation, that she wants to go into nursing. She said, my goal is to become a nurse and make patients feel loved and cared for while receiving the treatment they need. I asked her, did you get that love and support as you went through treatment? And she said, absolutely, yes. She talked about the treatment had changed her life entirely. It's challenging to keep up with work because of multiple doctor appointments. It takes me longer to complete tests and quizzes. My right leg has been amputated, which makes it harder for me to get around. I struggle to remember information that was recently taught. But you have to remember, keep your head up and remember to smile. And if you look at her now, she has a beautiful smile on her face. It's okay to cry and be upset. Try not to take it out on your family and peers. Embrace their comforts and lean on your doctors and nurses. Create an unforgettable bond with as many people as possible because your light will help others as well. And we know that you will shine, Taraya, your light on others when you become a nurse. Our next graduate is from Hampton City Schools, and that's Mackenzie Fortuna. And when Mackenzie walked in, I hardly recognized her today because I remember when she was about this tall. And what struck me with her, she wants to go into and be a veterinary technician and work with vets because of her love for animals. But also, she shared this love. She shared a quote. T.P. Chaya once said, "Parental love is the only love that is truly selfless, unconditional, and forgiving." Throughout my 18 years of life, I have found this to be more than true. My mom and dad loved me unconditionally throughout treatment and were both selfless and forgiving despite all the weird chemo food cravings and terrible sick days. And Mackenzie, I know you're going to do great things with that love for animals and for people and for your parents. Thank you for being with us. We have 4 graduates from Hanover County, 3 graduates, excuse me. Our first is Nathan Kincaid. Is Nathan with us today? I was going to tease Nathan because he was one of my men of few words. He wants to attend J. Sargent Reynolds Community College in the fall. He was an active member at Atlee High School in the marching band. But his advice to others was very short. And let me find that. Don't worry about the future. Worry about what's happening now. And I think what he's trying to tell us is live for the present. This next young lady from Atlee High School, Julia Reese Clower, and I never know if she I could talk all day about Reese. One reason is because she lives in the neighborhood that joins mine. Another one is because she has been such a supporter of ASK and at all of our programs over the years. Reese was diagnosed in those very young years. First and second grades were very difficult because that was right after treatment with her medulloblastoma. She said, at first, I had to learn to do simple things all over again. Simple things like talking, walking, eating. And while I was doing that and going to occupational therapy and physical therapy, I had the additional challenges of facing the academic curriculum in first and second grade. But what did Reese do? She found the things that were fun that made her happy while she was in the hospital. She liked to do crafts, and after crafts and getting out of the hospital, she would go home and she took up baking. And she said, I like to bake and have bake sales because I would earn money that I could donate to St. Jude's and Reese Strong and ASK Childhood Cancer Foundation. So Reese I do know that she knows how to bake because every now and then she'll knock on my door and she'll have me a container of my favorite candy. It's chocolate toffee candy that she makes. And when she's not doing that, during COVID one day, when we were all supposed to stay home, I had a little knock on my door. And it was 2 little things that had been put there for me. And it was a craft. As everybody knows, I love my bulldogs. I have bulldogs. Even though I have to tell this story, Dr. Laver told me he does not think they're cute. He does not think bulldogs are cute. But anyway, Reese had made me a pug and a bulldog little statue, and they're in my china cabinet, Reese, because they're so precious to me. So thank you. So, Reese has decided that this summer she's going to do an internship out at Camp Hanover, where we have a lot of our retreats. She'll be teaching arts and crafts to others. And then she's looking for a retail job because I think she wants to sell craft supplies. So best of luck to you, Reese. Our next young lady is Madison Shaw, who from Patrick Henry High School. Madison is a lady with few words, but when you get her talking, you can pull it out of her. And she is going to go to George Mason University and look at a major in social work. Is that correct, Madison? She's a very active young lady. She plays tennis at school. She was the yearbook copy editor and the team leader. And she also loves pets because she works at a pet resort. Best of luck to you, Madison. Now we have 9 graduates from Henrico County. Our first graduate is Benjamin Mohammed. Ben is a graduate of Douglas Freeman High School. And when I look back over the years and I read Ben's essay, which was the man of few words too, I remembered attending school meetings with his mom when he was about 8 or 9 over at Pinchback Elementary School. And now to see that he's graduating and he wants to become a dentist and go to dentistry at VCU. So best of luck to you, Ben. And you do have beautiful teeth and a beautiful smile. Our next graduate from Henrico High School is Ashley Johnson. Is Ashley here with us today? She's graduating from Glen Allen High School. Ashley wrote that the impact of sickle cell had on her life has been hard and stressful. She said, when you are spending life constantly worried about ending up in the hospital, it's like life being on high alert. At the same time, though, I think she's very happy today because she's been accepted in a clinical trial in Nashville, Tennessee. And she's hoping that that's going to turn this sickle cell around. She's going to take a gap year off, and then she'll pursue college in the following fall. Best of luck to Ashley. And while Ashley says it's been very stressful, I have a young man that we know well at clinic, Raleigh Henry Jr. Raleigh, where are you? And he states, even though we see him in clinic quite a bit, he states, having sickle cell has not been a bad experience for me. So that is taking a positive attitude. He wants to go to college, He didn't tell me for what. He just said, I want a successful career. And with that positive attitude, I know you will have a successful career. He said, don't be afraid of your diagnosis of cancer or a blood disorder. You can still accomplish anything you put your heart and mind into. Our next graduate is from Highland Springs High School, David Generett. David, are you with us today? There you are. David writes, and when I went to his school, when he transitioned back and went back to school, I remember the school staff talking about what a positive young man he is. He said, the only significant impact the treatment had on my school life is that I couldn't attend school, so I had to learn in a different way. This impact actually benefited me because I'm used to working alone and figuring subjects out on my own. So with schools going virtual now and COVID, I don't have much trouble. So again, that's a positive attitude, and thank you for sharing that. And he wants to go to J. Sargent Reynolds Community College in the fall and pursue computers or electronics. Best of luck, David. Our next young man is from J.R. Tucker High School, and that is Owen Hahn. Owen, there you are. And it might say that Owen is going to Longwood University, but I think now he just heard that he might be going to Randolph-Macon and Ashland and playing volleyball. He was in high school. He was an avid volleyball player, and he enjoyed the ROTC his freshman and junior year. He was diagnosed his junior year. And he said, I do not want to be viewed as the kid who had cancer, but viewed as an achiever. A kid who overcame an illness, goes to college, and surpasses academic and athletic expectations. I don't want to waste another minute of life. I want to learn, grow, and utilize my skills for the betterment of all people. I want to leave an impact on myself, friends, family, and peers. With a new lease on life, I dream of pursuing a degree in business, having a family, and living life to the absolute fullest. And Owen, we know you'll do that. I think you had read Rachel's essay beforehand. Our next graduate is Tracy Dews from Mills E. Godwin High School. I don't think Tracy is with us today. I think he had a function at his school. He said, I want everyone, especially young people, to not give up hope. Just trust and believe that things can and will get better. And he will be attending ODU in the fall, studying electrical engineering. Our next young lady is one that we know well. She has been very active in the ASK programs over the years, Serenity Naguda. Serenity is a graduate from Mills E. Godwin High School. I ran into Serenity's mom and dad recently, and I said, when I think back to Serenity, I can hardly believe she's graduating. I can remember being in Old Nelson Clinic and seeing her, and it's a memory that's just in my mind of her. She's in the corner room of Nelson Clinic. She's laying in the bed. She's about 8 years old, and she's reading a book. And she's talking to me about school and books that she likes to read. So she was diagnosed in 2nd grade and missed that year. Though I may not have been in school very much, I developed a love for academics, reading especially. Some of my most vivid memories from the hospital is my mother and I passing Scrabble game on our PlayStation Portable, back and forth, spending every spare minute devouring every book in sight. The nurses and child specialists at the clinic and hospital knew that I loved to read and would often bring me new books, and even a beautiful American Girl doll with my favorite book series at that time. My love for reading and words has stayed with me to this day and gave me my love for learning and the motivation I needed to succeed in middle school and high school, despite spending time catching up academically for the first few years. Serenity will be going to University of Virginia in the fall. And Dr. Laver, you are going to be very impressed again. Serenity is going to be studying physics. That is her love. So if you ever need any tutoring, Dr. Laver, we know who to call, right? Our next graduate is from Verina High School. This young man, I feel like we've known him since he was about this high. He came to the ASK programs, after-school tutoring, summer camps, our retreats. He always had a smile on his face, even though he's kind of frowning at me today because he doesn't know what I'm going to say. We have a love for this young man, Miles Coleman. Miles, in his essay, I was very touched. He talked about being a member of the ASK family and being surrounded by kids going through the same thing as he went through. He said he found it comforting and it made his visits tolerable to the hospital. He said, with the many camps and organizations available to you, you will find someone to sympathize with and build bonds with as you go forward. And Miles, we are going to welcome you into our young adult survivorship group so you can still come to retreats and lots of social events. They will be starting this summer. We will be meeting. Michelle Johnson is here today. Michelle, stand up. She is our launch coordinator with ASK. And Michelle and I will be meeting with our young adults monthly for social events and maybe some learning events. And we'll have a good time together and build that bond. It'll keep happening. So, Miles, we expect to see you every month. Our next graduate from Henrico County is a graduate from Verina High School, Nyla Robertson. Nyla truly believes that you should not let sickle cell or any illness stop you from accomplishing your goals. She said, since the age of 4, I've wanted to be in the medical field to help others. Every day I give 100% in working towards my goal. I have not allowed sickle cell to discourage me from my goals. I strive for excellence. I am proud of who I am and what I've accomplished thus far. I know I will do amazing things in the future. Nyla, we know you will do amazing things as well. And she will be attending Spelman College in the fall. She then hopes to go to medical school and become a pediatrician one day. Dr. Laver, do you think we'll still be there then?
If you'll be there, I'll be there.
Okay, we got a promise there. We have two students who have attended private schools. Our first is Kennedy Estes. Kennedy shares with us today. Since I was diagnosed almost 6 years ago, I have learned many things in life. However, the most important prevalent lesson has been to never give up. This might sound cliche, but it is very true. There were many times when I could have given in. It would have been easier that way. But then again, life was never meant to be easy. I believe I can make a difference in this world. My goal after I earn my degree is to travel to Haiti to train the Haitian women how to become midwives. Haiti has one of the highest maternal infant death rates, and this won't stop unless these women are trained how to safely give birth. So, I think you are off to John Tyler in the Health Sciences program in the fall. And she says, choose happiness as you go forward. Choose to love. Choose to be kind. Choose to laugh. Choose to hold your loved ones close and not hold a grudge. Very profound words. Best of luck to you, Kennedy. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. I have one of those other young men with few words, and I know this young man well. So I saw him today, and I said, you are really in trouble. Mr. Christopher Newcomb, who is a graduate of Rivermont School. Christopher, I first got to know him, I think, when he was in kindergarten. And you know, some children like to run. They really don't like kindergarten. If something doesn't go right, they're going to run. Well, Christopher was a runner. So I was often called to his kindergarten class. What am I going to do about this runner? But Christopher has been involved with ASK for many years, attending, again, I'm going to say, our after-school tutoring programs, our summer camps, our retreats, our social events. And the one thing I can say about Christopher, because he's been sitting back there cheering for Reese and for Miles and for everybody that he's met along the way today. He's the cheerleader of the group. He has a big heart. He's compassionate. If a child ever feels left out, he's going to be there to make them feel like they're wanted and that they need to be there. We had a middle school, high school retreat not too long ago out at Camp Hanover for the day. Christopher came. We had new people who had never been there, middle schoolers, before. He made everybody feel welcome. Christopher wants to go to college and be a social worker. And Christopher, I know if you spread that big heart and that love, you're going to accomplish great things. Best of luck to you. Are you getting hungry yet? I know this is long going through each graduate. I spend every night the week before reading them and every time I read them, I get something new and different out of them. Everybody, your words are profound, what you have to share. And thank you so much for sharing. So now for Richmond City, we have 4 graduates. And Sarah Peoples. Sarah, are you with us today? Okay. Sarah is a graduate from George Wythe High School. She plans to attend Virginia State in the fall. She says, my life as a student going through cancer treatment wasn't the worst, and I feel like other kids go through much worse. I have had experiences that I will never forget, but I will go forward. Best of luck to Sarah. Do I have Kashawn Walker with us today from George Wythe High School? Kashawn, I don't have to tell you, you're a man with few words too on this essay. But Katie says you make her laugh every time you come to clinic. That you have that way about you that puts a smile on people's faces. Kashawn did write that he hated not being able to play sports and not being able to work as he went through treatment. And he said, don't ever give up, keep pushing to get better. And he wants to do something with culinary arts in the fall. Is that correct? Okay. This young man from John Marshall High School I haven't seen for years. And I see Miss Jane, one of our other tutors and preschool teachers in the audience, and she'll remember Jahil Drayton. Jahil? Jahil has sickle cell, but he said he really didn't have any pain or anything relating to his illness till he was about 15. He said, I was leaving basketball practice and starting having pain in my body. The pain became so unbearable that I woke my mom up in the middle of the night to be taken to the emergency room. I found out I was going through a crisis that put me in the hospital for a week. This experience made me want to learn more about my diagnosis and to be more aware of things I could do to help deal with it. I am glad I don't have it as bad as some other people. I have heard the stories of their pain. I thank God every day I have a mild case. And his advice is to educate yourself. Educate yourself on your diagnosis and on your treatment. Jahil, what I learned, wants to pursue acting, and he has already started that career somewhat. They've been filming a series, Swaggered, is that right? In Richmond, and he has been participating in that. And so we want to see you on the big screen one day, Jahil. We wish you the best for that. Another young lady from Richmond City is Sienna Anderson. Sienna, would you like to stand up and let everybody see how beautiful you are today? She's graduating from Thomas Jefferson High School. And under career plans, a statement was written that I thought was profound. It is, I hope to be the best Sienna that I can be. Isn't that profound? No matter what we do in life, whether we go to medical school or nursing school, no matter what we do, our goal really should be to be the best that we can be. So Sienna, I wish you all the best, honey. Our next graduate is from Spotsylvania County, DJ Johnson. DJ, are you here? He is graduating from Massaponack High School. He's another one that wrote about being diagnosed his junior year in high school, having a 2.5-month stay in the hospital. And he said, The diagnosis has impacted my life as a student. Thank you, thank you. But I give God the praise for the things and people that have been in place to help me make it to the finish line. So we wish DJ the best, and he will be attending Germanna Community College in the fall. And last but not least, because this young lady is very special, and we have known her for a long time as well. Bria Nunley from Stafford County, went to Stafford High School. She talks about 10 years have passed since being in remission, and how life has granted her so many twists and turns in life. But let me tell you, this young lady, she's done well in school. She's going to VCU to study developmental psychology in the fall. And what I really love and how I've gotten to reconnect and know her is that they live up in Fredericksburg, Stafford, and she would come over to Fredericksburg United Methodist Church on Thursdays and help me tutor the young people up there that needed tutoring. And her math skills were sometimes much better than mine. So Bria, I'm looking forward to having you at VCU and in Richmond. And we have an after-school tutoring program on Wednesday. So the door is always welcome at the Ask building to come over and help us tutor. And we wish you the best. Now that concludes our graduates, but I do have someone that I would like to call forward, and that's Miss Amy Godkin. Amy is the Executive Director of ASK. And I don't know where we would be without this organization and without Amy. This program, when it started 25 years ago, and I asked my Director of Hospital Education if I could do this program, he said, yeah, but you have to fund it. So I had a group of volunteers, and we would go to all the restaurants and vendors and say, can you donate food to this event? And that's how it started. And we didn't give scholarships then. And then ASK took us on, and they provide thousands and thousands of dollars every year to promote these programs, as I've talked about today, the after-school programs, the tutoring programs, the online tutoring program that was so big this year with COVID, the retreats. And they laugh at me. I often say, I remember when ASK existed, and I was president for ASK one year, and I can remember when ASK existed, and we didn't know if we had money to buy pizza for clinic. And to see this organization and what they've grown into today, it's because of the hard work, the vision of Amy Godkin and her staff. So Amy, please come forward.
Alma played a very large role in all of this, so thank you for making today special for everybody. In closing, I just have one final thought for our graduates. I want you to know that today is not a goodbye. We want to stay in your life. I know that the survivorship and sickle cell teams want you to come back and visit regularly so they can make sure you stay healthy, and ASK is here for you as well. If you go off to school and classes are harder than you thought they'd be, or that plan to find a job isn't quite coming together, Alma and our amazing launch project coordinator, Michelle, and all the rest of us will be here to help you. We always say, once an ASK kid, always an ASK kid, and we mean it. I don't care how old you are, you're always going to be one of our ASK kids and part of our family. So congratulations, and please stay in touch and come back to see us. Right now, I'd like to invite all of the graduates to come on the field for a group picture and to receive your scholarships. Parents, you are welcome to take a picture from there or come down here. We also have Terry, our professional photographer, and we'll be sharing out the photos that she takes. And then we'll back out through the gates to go over to the pavilion for lunch. Thank you so much for coming to help us celebrate today. Terry, where would you like everybody?
This is going to be a group picture?
Graduates.
Group picture.
Do you want us to pull this?
Right here.
Okay, right here. Graduate, come on down.
Well, it's sort of nice here, and I can sort of. Oh, really? Don't want your words? No, I got mine. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Oh yeah, it was getting warm up here, wasn't it? Whew, it's hot.
Here are my words.
Okay, I will. Thank you for being here today.